In this video, I want to share a story about life and mortality titled, Humans Are Meant to Die. When my father passed away, he was 56 years old, and I was just 23 at the time. Unfortunately, I wasn't by his side when he passed. I was far away in a remote area. On the day he passed, I dreamt about his death. At that time, he was staying at my aunt's house in the new town of Than Tung, Karen State. He had contracted cerebral malaria and was taken to the hospital, but he lost consciousness and passed away shortly after. It was later revealed that part of the cause was a failing heart, likely due to years of alcohol consumption. At that time, I was in a remote area in Chin State, caught in the midst of conflict. I remember waking from the dream about his death in the early hours of the morning, startled, and writing it down in my diary, thinking it was just a dream. Later, when I returned to Bhamo, I saw his obituary in the newspaper, which confirmed that he had indeed passed away on the same day as my dream. I was granted leave to attend the funeral. At that point in my life, I was unmarried and living alone. When I arrived at my aunt's house in the new town of Than Tung, the family was observing the one-month memorial service for my father. I visited his grave at the Than Tung cemetery where he was laid to rest. Years later, my mother passed away at the age of 83 from an age-related illness. By then, I was 56 years old. My mother was living at my aunt's house in Atoe Kao Ko, Karen State, at the time of her passing. For her funeral, I traveled with my wife and 2 sons to pay our respects. Just like my father, my mother passed away at my aunt's house and was buried in a cemetery in Atoe Kao Koe. We affectionately called my father Papa and my mother Mei Mei. My father was born in Mobin, Ayeyarwady region, but grew up in Natsingone village, Kyauktan Township, Yangon region. He told us about how he was once supposed to study aviation in Australia. His father had made all the arrangements, but when his mother learned about it, she rushed to the port and created such a scene that he ended up not going. Instead, he served as a clerk in Lashio, northern Shan State, after completing 9th grade. Later, he married and moved on to work at the municipal office in Lashio. My father eventually transferred to Yangon, where he worked for the township council office, and later for the regional council. After 30 years of service, he retired at the age of 55 as an accountant. Similarly, my mother, who was a primary school teacher, retired after 30 years of service at the same age. I am the youngest of 4 siblings. My eldest sister holds a BAg degree and is a graduate of the University of Agriculture. She has 4 successful children. My second sister has degrees in botany and education, BEd, and was a high school teacher. She has 2 sons, both of whom are thriving abroad. My third sister didn't obtain a degree, but has raised 4 children who are all independent. As for me, I have 2 sons who have grown into responsible adults. Just like our parents, we will eventually find ourselves resting in a cemetery somewhere. This thought reminds me of the impermanence of life and how all humans are destined to die. Thank you for watching this video. This is Good Ray signing off.